Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on Dating Today, a conversation about modern dating issues. My name is Brock Olson. I am your host, and I am joined with my co-host, Megan. Say hi.
I just realized I don't know which camera to look at.
Hi. We are joined with a live audience where they are going to be interacting. They might even ask us a few questions. So we do have them here. If you ever want to join the live audience, you can go to buildsofthemedia.com, who are the people who are responsible for putting this entire studio and production together. So I do want to thank them. If you guys have any studio media needs, any like you need to create content, things like that, look at the studio. Like, this is one of many situations that they've got going on in this entire place. So if you need to create reels or content or YouTube videos, anything like that, these are the guys that you want to reach out to. Also want to thank Flame and Flavor for being our video sponsor today. If you guys are needing any types of food catering, you need some good pastas, anything like that, like these are the guys that you want for your events. If you're gonna do picnics, if you're gonna do anything like that, Flame and Flavor is who you want to call. Thank you so much for sponsoring today. And they did cater for us. And
Amazing.
Amazing.
So delicious. Thank you so much. I had to interrupt you to say something. I was grubbing out before the show. Oh my gosh.
I think everybody's been grubbing up before the show.
Thank you so much.
And
amazing.
And speaking of the show, what are we talking about? Today we're going to be talking about chivalry and feminism, and can they coexist? Megan, what do you think? Do you think they can coexist?
I'll steal your line, which is, I believe feminism and can exist in the workplace, but not in relationships.
Really, dive in. So I actually said that last week on our very first episode, just a little nugget there, and we wanted to kind of expand on that. We thought it was a really good soundbite. So my opinion was that it actually can't. I don't think that it can coexist with like chivalry and feminism. I don't think that they coexist as well as it could have probably 30, 40 years ago. I do think feminism is phenomenal. I believe in feminism in the workplace, in society. However, I think a lot of people would agree that it really finds a struggling point in dating, because it seems like a lot of the feminism that we'd want to take into dating, it's a little bit cherry-picked. It's not consistent. It's not true equality. It's cherry-picked equality, in my opinion. Now, I know that's going to get a couple people triggered. Sorry, buckle up. This is going to be a long episode. But I do believe that feminism doesn't really work very well in modern dating or modern relationships. I'm not saying it can't. I'm saying naturally it doesn't. It kind of conflicts with what chivalry is. Chivalry is, heck, I guess we'll go a little history here. So chivalry started about, let's see, the 14th century in France, and it was actually written about before it was actually done. So it was written in stories, romance novels, and things like that, where the knights, and then, by the way, the knights were not these amazing guys. They were thugs. They were savages. They were hired hitmen. They were hired like muscle. That's what they were. They were brutes, but they were also connected to nobility. So nobility was really taking a hit with all of the bad publication, all the press, all the stories that were being told. So the nobles said, we should probably fix this and like maybe make a little bit of a code of ethics. And so that's what chivalry started out as a code of ethics. Now, there isn't and never has been a book on this is chivalry. It was just kind of like insinuated, hey, maybe we should treat women like not things. Stuff like that, hey, that was very progressive.
Novel idea.
It was a way to take the savagery out of men, which was required at that time all the time in order to survive, because if you were soft, then your lineage would stop.
So then how did they go from, if you stop being brute and you start softening for the lady that you're married to or that you're courting or that you want, then how did they stay hard enough to defend the family and defend their but not but still be like, how did that balance get struck then? Or did they just become soft?
No, I don't actually think they ever did become soft. And the way it actually worked was that women at the time were something to be highly desired, and you had to go through certain tests in order to qualify to be set up with a woman. Like they were still possessions back then, they were still things. So, how would you get her to want to be with you? You would have to soften up just enough for her. That was it. Just enough for her. It wasn't that the knights just did chivalry everywhere. And that's kind of what made it special is that it was selected
Mm.
for one person. It's like, I see you, I'm going to set you apart, and I'm going to protect you. And that's how chivalry actually started because that's not how it used to be. It's like, I like you, I'm going to talk to your dad, and you'll be mine.
Mm. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah, so that they just wanted a better, connotation to being knights and to being men, and that honor was something that because it was written in romance novels, the romance novels back then, I'm sure were pretty intense, but that's really how it all started. So how do you get those types of acts of chivalry, which was about honor, it was about protection, how do you take that into today's society when the we have feminism, but we also have an extreme version of feminism where they reject the idea of needing to be protected. Question I hear all the time is, well, who is it that we're needing to be protected from?
You know what I heard recently? I don't know. Did you send it to me? Or I don't know if we discussed it or not, but it was oh gosh, I'm gonna screw it up, but maybe somebody will correct me in the comment section or here. But it was this lady talking about we don't need oh, I'm gonna mess it up. We don't need maybe I can find the clip and we can cut it in
Sure.
so I don't screw it up.
We'll
But
figure it out through the show, though.
yeah, we don't need chivalry because it's about men. It's about like the quote unquote good men protecting us from the bad men.
Hmm.
And so the good men are still technically bad because they want there to be bad men to protect us against.
So it makes men necessary,
So
but
so
like
yeah,
they are
like
making themselves necessary
by being
by being what makes them required.
to how to protect against.
Sure.
And then she's like, if everybody just if all the men just decided to like treat everybody well and not have any
Hmm.
bad, then we wouldn't need protection against that or whatever. Like, so men are trying to make themselves indispensable by
Sure. Sure.
that's the kind of the notion that she's
No, I think I know exactly what you're talking about, and I did watch that, and I thought it was one of the most naive takes I've ever watched on the internet. If everyone would just be good, we wouldn't need chivalry.
yeah.
Hmm.
But it was also interesting because for me, I've had a lot of trouble understanding the perspective of like fourth wave feminism. I
Mm.
get the whole like marching in the streets, we want to vote. I get like,
Mhm.
yes, thank you. Thank you for
Absolutely.
standing up. I want to
Mhm.
say, I believe that there is equality in our um what we what we offer. If we don't offer the same things, but we do offer in equal parts. That's kind of like that conversation we had last week, where each person is indispensable and invaluable to the other for different reasons,
Mhm.
and it equals each other.
Yeah,
And
it's a
so,
good balance.
yeah, and so I thank the former feminists who made these advancements.
Mhm.
But where we're at now is like it's almost backwards to that. Like it's so far overboard that it's like let us move towards isolation. Like let us move towards isolating ourselves and being incompatible and being alone and being
Mm.
completely independent and starved from affection and call it, freedom. And I think
Mhm.
that that's kind of the new direction. So I guess it was helpful for me to see that video to understand that's where it's coming from.
Sure.
I still disagree, and I still think that it's a wild notion and it is naive. But
Mhm.
it helped me to get a glimpse into the mind of a fourth wave feminist. And so for that, I'm grateful that it exists.
That fourth wave feminism?
Oh, that
Oh.
the video explaining it kind of like
Sure.
getting into the
Mhm.
psychology of like
Mhm.
where they're coming from
Sure.
because I haven't ever heard it explained in a way where I was like, "Oh."
Got it. Well, I mean, I see it in the comments all the time, which is, well, who is it that they're having to protect us from? And the answer is men. It's always men. It's men. There are always going to be bad men.
Because a man
Always.
isn't going to protect you from a raging female like your girls are. So then maybe we don't need the girls either, because we shouldn't have to be protected from the raging females that are coming after us, slicing our tires or whatever, like
Oof,
keying our
oof.
cars. Like,
Some Carrie Underwood right there.
but it's just like, if we're being protected from the men and we need men to protect us from the men,
Mhm.
and there's also crazy chicks, like, well, let's be honest, then like, are we to only protect? No, we've got our girls groups that like we're like, oh, she's crazy, let's go get crazy on her. At least like in the immature.
Tell me more about these groups. Are they for hire? No, I'm kidding.
But I mean, so it's like you want to say, oh, well, if men were just all treating each other, if men didn't need to try and be over masculine. I think that was kind of the thing, was like men are trying to be so masculine and tough that they're creating these monsters that they have to protect us against, is essentially what it's going for. So it's like, okay, well, women are doing the exact same thing.
Sure.
So masculine and tough that they're creating these monsters that we have to be protected against, but men can't protect us against other women because that's brutal,
Mhm.
even though.
Human nature itself is brutal, and I mean, the way you're phrasing it is pretty accurate to that video, where it does sound like they're saying that men are just choosing to be brutal and to be brutes and to be
Yes.
savages and like
They're saying
that,
that's what's masculine. They're saying it's masculine to be
like it's a choice though.
this like
Hmm.
manly monster. Like, oh, that's what they're trying to make alpha men.
Yeah.
And so it's like they're putting the negative spin on alpha
Hmm.
male, and they're putting the positive spin on the beta male,
Hmm.
so that they can end up with like, well, alpha males are these like brute beasts that we need protection from. Whereas if everybody were just like gentle and a beta, then like we wouldn't need protection from them. But no, we've created monsters in women as well
Sure.
that we need protection from, which we aren't going to allow the men to, because that would be wrong for a man to beat up a woman, because equality. Like there's a lot of lack of logic crossing over.
Hmm.
So that's why I haven't been able to understand like this.
Sure.
There's a lot of gaping holes in the logic.
Well, the fourth wave that you mentioned definitely leans really heavy into that space because there's almost no fights to be fought anymore. Everything that they were fighting for has pretty much been given. There's almost no disparity. There's like the what group receives or is on the receiving end of physical violence? It's still men. Men
Mhm.
receive more physical violence. Men are in prisons more. Men have more mental health issues. More men are homeless. More men, like men are on the negative side of a lot of this, but
Yeah.
you know, my point being that the fourth wave is looking for a fight. And you see it in the comment sections, you see it in Reddit,
Yeah.
the attempt at shaming, because without that, without doing that, without having an enemy and no fight, a lot of people don't feel valid or live or relevant. Like I have to have a purpose. My purpose must be to fight for something. And that has been recorded in history for
Mm,
so long with men especially.
that people feel more purposeful in conflict,
Of course, yeah.
which is maybe why our country's kept in war. That's a whole other topic.
Yeah, that's a whole other topic. So let's roll into how this actually affects our dating life. So obviously chivalry is something we were just talking about, and then feminism. How do these two coincide? Say you're on your first date. The guy did his thing. He approached, he slid into the DMs, whatever it is. You're on that first date. The bill comes. She makes the same amount of money as he does.
Yeah.
But it was his idea because he made the approach, because she's not going to approach. What should he do? The bill comes. It was his idea
if she's
because he had no choice really.
if she's a screaming feminist and he knows that about
Mhm.
her, if they've talked about it and she's like, I'm, equal pay, which like
Mhm.
yes, equal pay
Sure.
for equal job.
Mhm.
I'm all about equal pay for equal job.
Sure.
But there's massive levels of manipulation in the statistics on that.
Oh, for sure.
And I've looked into that now,
Mhm.
because I'm like, I just can't regurgitate any of the information on the spot. I'm like, give me my art. I will get you the articles. Um, if she has preached that the whole time and she's like, I'm an
Mhm.
independent woman, you and I probably make the same amount, blah, blah, blah. I think
Mhm.
that it would be reasonable for the guy to be like, okay,
Mhm.
so we're equal here.
Hmm.
We're equal in our pay. We're equal. Yes, I invited you. Would you be willing to split the bill with me? Is that something that makes you more comfortable to split the bill with me, or for you to handle it entirely, or for me to handle it entirely? And I would love to understand why. I think that would be the easiest, safest way to handle that.
The easiest, safest way. So say it very out loud, exactly the way you just said.
Yeah, because the
Bring it,
bill's the
bring it
most
to the table.
uncomfortable thing. I was like, this is where I know that
Hmm.
I will get into a bit of a disagreement with you on this one, because I was always taught, shout out to my mom,
Hi,
bec-
mom.
because she said, when the bill comes, you need to make sure that you try to pay for yourself. You always do that because that's the polite and courteous thing to do, to make sure that they don't feel like you're just using them for a free meal ticket.
You got a good mom.
And I said, you said that. Okay.
Oh, we'll get there.
And so I've gone on dates and I've
Hmm.
been like, oh, I've got me. Don't worry about it. And when they let me, it pisses me off.
That's exactly what I was going to get
because
to.
because it's like it is, and then you had sent me notes on this.
She
Okay.
knows where I'm going.
You're gonna say you're gonna say it's if I'm offering, then I should be fully willing to accept
Mhm.
that he might take me up on it, and it should have no negative
It should be
connotation.
it should be a genuine offer
But it's
without repercussions if he does it.
but it does but in your notes that you sent me, you said that that the who pays the bill is attached to like effort
Mhm.
um
Yes,
and desire and
that's how women view it.
interest.
Yes.
And it is. It's
Hmm.
100% true. That is exactly why I'm sensitive about it, because if he's like, yeah, for sure, I'm like, oh, he's interested in me as a friend. I'm not wrong, by the way.
Mm.
I have not been wrong on that. If he is not offered to pay the bill, we've been friend zoned.
Oh, not if he's not even offering to
No,
pay
like
it.
if we get to the paying portion and
Sure.
like the server's like, one check or two, I'm like, two, and then he's like, no, 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 one, or and I'm like, oh, I can get me, and he's like, okay. It's typically we end up in the friend zone.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, evaluate that.
So they'll come, they'll ask, is this on one or two? And
And
you're
I
the one that
no,
answers.
I did this a lot because I get very nervous and money makes me uncomfortable.
Okay.
Shut
Okay. Go on.
up. Money makes me uncomfortable. Talking about money makes me uncomfortable. Having people pay for me makes me uncomfortable. I've been
Hmm.
not well off most of my adult life.
Okay.
I've worked very hard for everything that I had since I was 16. And so I never want to take advantage of anybody's kindness. And I've had friends who are much wealthier than me and they've paid for me for stuff. And I felt like it built some resentment. Like,
Sure.
oh, Megan can't pay for stuff, but we want her to be there. So then we have to like buy stuff for her. And I'm like, no, 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 I've got it. And then it's like a $15 salad. This was also like 15 years ago when a $15 salad was crazy. Like $8 salad, $7 salad was more normal. So we're
Yeah.
talking like
Yeah.
double the price at these fancy, like, I soak my fries in like duck fat or whatever restaurants. And, whatever. Um, and so like I remember being at this restaurant and like I'm at this, it's a birthday party thing, and my friends like, they have salads because I also, let's judge me some more. I'm from Southern California and I haven't eaten meat for 18 years. Ooh. So there's already that. And then I was also going gluten free because I had digestive issues. More information than you probably need. And so she's like 5 people down from me. She's not helping anybody else with their selections. And she's like, they have salads. They have salads. Did you see the salads? And I'm like, I'm a child. And immediately I felt demeaned. I felt belittled. And then I was like, I didn't want to shout across, they're $15 and I don't like any of the ingredients. So I didn't want to shout that out because that's embarrassing. I was just like, I can read, thanks.
Oof.
And she's like, well, I'm trying to help because, and I'm like, you don't need to. I have a menu. She's like, well, and she told me that she would get always like very stressed about bringing me places because either my dietary stuff or because I didn't ever have money. And she would always like to go to places that had they were not like super expensive now that I have a bit of an understanding of what really expensive is,
Sure.
but they were expensive enough to make me uncomfortable.
Mm.
It's her birthday. I'm not going to say anything. Worst case scenario, I figure out how to make more, or I go borrow from my parents, pay them back. Like, you know what I mean?
Sure.
We're in our early 20s. Like, who has money in their early 20s? Not a lot of people. And so that was a thing that happened forever. So it made me very uncomfortable about money. And so having my mom tell me, like, don't let people pay for you, and then having my friends pay for me and make me uncomfortable about it. Going into dates, I'm like, I never want to take advantage. I never want to make somebody feel used. I also don't want to make somebody feel obligated. And then there's the other side, which is a smaller side, but it's the like, I don't want you to think I owe you something because you fed me.
That's the big one.
And that's, for me,
Yep.
it's the smaller one. For a
Yep.
lot of other people, it's the bigger one. And I know that from all my LA girlfriends talking
Oh
about, like,
yeah.
oh, I didn't have any money, so I just went
Yeah.
on a
Free
lunch
date.
date and a dinner
Yep.
date. And I'm like,
Yep.
you're so wrong.
Yep.
And these people are strong feminists, and that's the part that
So the selective feminism.
that's the part that pissed me off. I was like, you don't even believe in that crap. They're like, yeah, but if they're gonna pay, I'm gonna take it. And I was like, you ruin it for the rest of us, like for the people who are actually like trying and doing and trying to do the right thing. So that was another thing when I came out here, and this is again not to like, that was another thing that I know.
Drop some names. We're listening.
Okay, so his name was.
What are your girlfriend's Instagram so they don't get asked out on more dates?
Oh no, they're all married with children now. And see,
Oh,
that's the part that also is like, what am I missing here? It's like, it's not, what am I missing? They ended up, yeah. Granted, nope, not gonna say that. That's
we're not
on
saying
the
that.
internet.
We're not saying that. That's on the internet forever. Forever.
So
So when you get the bill, it makes you uncomfortable. So you want to take the pressure off. You want to offer.
out here, that was the other thing that when we talked last week about like the difference of Southern California dating versus dating out here, that was the other thing that shocked me, which I should have, I was a little scattered at the time, but the chivalry aspect of like opening doors or pulling out chairs or whatever those things are, those are fairly common here. That's, and that's no different than in Southern California. It was fairly common there as well. It was largely the money thing. It was largely when we went out, I did what my mom said, where I was like, oh, I can get me. And they'd be like, great. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it shocked me that I wasn't seeing more men be like, absolutely not. Like, I take a lady out, I pay for a lady. Because I had men say that, guy friends say that in California. Like, I was brought up right. If you go out with me, I'm paying for you, whether we're friends or whether we're dating. And I was like, you don't need to do that. And they're like, I've offered, take me up. I'm like, okay. That makes me feel more comfortable to know where I stand from here to there.
Sure.
My brother, when he went to when he went out on his the first date with his now wife, he was like, I'm gonna pay as we're dating and getting to know each other. I'm gonna pay for all of our dates. But when we are together, like if we make it to being together, like that is different. He's like, we'll probably be splitting, we'll probably be, utilizing some coupons and being smart.
He communicated this though.
Oh yeah,
Good.
because he dated a girl
on
for
him.
3 years, and he said, I am the same. Like, I am the same as I was when we first started dating. There's growth, sure, but you expect some whole different person.
Sure.
It's not happening. You don't date. She was dating his potential. She's like, but I love you. He's like, I think you love what you want me to become. And so he knew going in with his now wife that he was going to set the precedent. He was going to be like, this is how this is going to go. And she was like, oh, she was much younger. She's like, I guess I respect that because you were really honest.
Sure.
And I think that helps. I think it alleviates so much to just communicate that. But again,
for sure.
But
I want to go back to your friends who are using guys for meals. That's what I want to go back to.
They weren't my friends. They were my friends.
We're not getting past that. So
they weren't my friends. They were my friends' friends.
It's situations like that.
Claiming.
Then you're good. You're good. This is a past life anyway. This is California.
Yes, that's right. California life. It doesn't exist.
Past life. Past life. I personally know women who are doing that today.
Yes.
There. Some of them are in my social circle. I know it for a fact.
All right, let's list some names.
Are we ready?
Who are ya?
Everyone drop it. I'm not going to drop names. You know who you are. You know exactly who you are. You know what you're doing. And then I see what you're posting. I see what you post. No.
Is anybody here?
No one here. No one here. But that highlights my opinion that being able to take advantage of another gender in that capacity voids feminism, completely voids it in the dating space. It cannot exist because it is so easy for that to happen. So easy. So many men. I have so many guy friends who have spent hundreds and even thousands of dollars a month just taking women out on dates, going on first dates, spending $300-400.
Expensive.
Yeah, it is. And just being willing to just accept that, like almost like it's owed to them. I'm just like, how are you able to justify or put that into your head as being okay? That you're literally using this person for whatever the benefits are, and at the same time saying that you want equality and all that over here.
And what do they answer with? You, they don't have any answer. You call them out.
I call people out all the time. I have nothing to lose. Yeah, I'll call it out.
Call them out, and they are like, nothing. Deer in headlight. No excuses. No.
Nope.
They're
No
just
excuse.
like, is what it is. I'm gonna
They
work
say that's the name of the game. That's how it works. Everybody's dating for themselves.
I want names. I want to take them out, and not like to pay for them, because
I know groups of women who will go out with $3 in their bank account, and they're perfectly fine going into a bar space because they know that people are going to buy them drinks.
that makes me angry.
The screenshots that I get in my line of work, the information I am privy to, I could burn Chattanooga down. I'm just telling you. So this is very real game that's being played. So
Was that just like a power play that was like, don't mess with me?
No, I'm just saying, like, I have so much information on what's going on behind the scenes. I know what guys are doing. I definitely know what women are doing. And whenever I speak about what women are doing, they're like, shut up. We're going to cancel you. Shut up. It happens. It's very real.
So the
Guys don't like it either, though. If I call out what they're doing, no, they don't like hearing it either. We got audience guys going, shh.
Okay, so then what do we? So then feminism. I'm looking at the notes that you sent me. I know this is highly professional. I didn't print them out. So money is more than just money. It's the effort, right?
Yeah.
The expectation for men to pay can feel outdated, which remains ingrained in how many view romance.
I think that women absolutely view the amount of money that a guy is willing to spend. Oh, we talk about this all the time. If a guy pulled up to McDonald's, would you give him a second date?
Well, McDonald's is gross. So
Okay, whatever.
give me some Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A.
If he was like, hey, I'm gonna take you out, we're going to Chick-fil-A, I'd be like, can we also go play in the play?
Let's not even say that. Let's just say coffee date. The amount of people I know, I'm talking like some of my best friends that say, I will not do a coffee date. Like, why not?
Girls won't do a coffee date?
Absolutely not. Yes, absolutely. They will not do a coffee date because it's below them. And they're not going to go for a walk. They're like, I'm not a dog. I'm like,
okay, so I have a thing about a walk, and it has nothing to do with me.
Let's hear it, Megan.
I I don't like going on walks with people that I just met.
Well, don't go on hikes on first date, guys. Stop asking.
No, it's not even about. There's a lot of
They're listening. They're listening
straight at you.
They're listening.
There's
Hikes.
a lot of men in Chattanooga, this outdoorsy city, and you people think that we want to go on a hike. I'm telling you right now, come in. Where's my camera? Right here. I'm telling you right now. We don't. No. That is not a first date we want to go on. We want to look pretty. We want to look cute. Second date maybe. But like, I'm just telling you.
Yeah. Well,
you
don't even know if you can trust them.
Yeah,
you don't even know if you can trust them. Like, come on.
There's too many spots to bury the body and have it not be found. Come on.
Yeah.
But we do location tracking. I know I send my location if I ever get the sketch or the right? We send locations. So.
But yeah, no coffee dates. That is below them. They're not going to do it. There's a woman, I cannot for the life of me remember.
Escape a coffee date. Like, that's the beauty of a coffee date. Is like, oh, you know what?
You shouldn't be able to escape any date. Middle of dinner, I don't care if it's $400. Like, hey, I'm not feeling this amount.
Oh, nope. I feel, that is where I feel like if you've spent a lot of money on a dinner date for me, like I have to sit through it and I have to make sure that you feel slightly entertained
Mm,
and comfortable and okay because you just spent a crap ton of money
mm,
and like I am your like you brought me here
sure.
and if I'm not interested in you, I should at least entertain you. So I'll be humorous or I'll be delightful or whatever.
Okay.
And so like I really try and make people laugh so that at least we can walk away and say, "Oh, that was fun."
Hmm.
You're not for me, but I cannot leave in the middle of a date where I know that somebody just spent money. And like even if it's like $40, I cannot leave knowing that they spent $40 on me and I'm just gonna
Sure.
peace out. Unless
Here we go.
caveat, unless they were like extraordinarily
Making
rude.
you uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like just so chauvinistic or
Sure.
so like rude or
Hmm.
saying very inappropriate
Sure.
sexual things,
Yeah.
like I'm out.
No, and that well, that's totally justifiable. Audience laughing. No, that's totally justifiable. Which, by the way, another inappropriate first date is, in my opinion, an expensive dinner date.
Strip
That is
club.
not where you start. Dang, strip club. Wow.
Ask me if that's ever happened.
Ask me if she's from LA.
That's fair.
No, expensive dinner
That's
dates,
fair.
highly, highly inappropriate. You don't know this person. Like she just said, like sitting across the table, if the conversation is just trash, like you don't want to get up if it's $300-400. Like now you got to sit there. Also, like,
I've never been on a dinner date that's
oh,
three
I
or
know
four
people
hundred
all the time.
bucks. What,
Yep.
what are you eating?
Mhm.
What are you,
Yep.
what are you
Yep.
eating for $300, $400? Where are you eating
Why
for
are you asking me?
$300?
Why are you asking me?
I
We
mean,
have
you know,
restaurants.
you know
You get some drinks, you get some hors d'oeuvres, you get the nice cut, you get your desserts, you get a few more drinks.
two people.
It goes up quick. Yeah,
I would never allow that to.
someone who's never paid for a date.
No, somebody who's never allowed me to be taken on a date that's that expensive. I would never allow
Happens all
that.
the time.
I would never allow that.
What would you do?
That would have to be a
You
special
can you
occasion.
can tell that the bill's getting up. It's over $300. It's just,
There's no way. I've never been on a date that's gone up $300 for just two
what
people.
would you do if it did? What would you do? Like it just is. It's just getting up there. He just ordered like a $300 caviar. He's doing
I'd be
his
like,
thing.
hold on, hold on. I'd be like, server, like this is extraordinarily. We're at a place where we should really stop and just enjoy because we don't need to keep ordering stuff. Like
You
we
know
don't
how many people would not do that and just like let it flow?
how am I not married? Like, I keep hearing of these horrendous women. How am I not married? Because I would never do that to somebody.
I don't think they're.
Did I just advertise myself?
Jeez. First of all, I want to say this. I don't think that the women are horrendous. I think that they're seeing an opportunity. Hey, if they're willing to give it, why not? Like that. Like I'm gonna bring my beauty. Hey, I'm gonna bring my beauty. I'm gonna bring a conversation. We're gonna have a good time. He says he wants to pay. I'm gonna let him do it. I mean, I can do the mental gymnastics to justify it. I don't think that that necessarily makes them a bad person. Now, if they strung them along multiple dates, let them think that there's hope,
Well, that's exactly
then
why
yes,
they would do it, is because the guy's forking out the money. So at that point, it's just prostitution.
that's very true. That is very true.
I'm gonna get in so much trouble on
No, no, you're not. No, do not cancel this woman. No, no. I think to an extent, you're absolutely right because there is a bit of a transactional dynamic that's taking place. If you show up with this mentality, I am the prize, okay, well, how much are you as a prize? Is it a $200 dinner? Is that all it takes to get you? Like, what is it?
I don't like that.
But then that flies in the face of feminism and equality. It's like, I don't want to be objectified, yet you are literally condoning and creating a space for that. So, my advice on this is if a guy does ask you out and he's like, let me take you to this nice joint. I don't know. Let me just name a place. We have a place here in Chattanooga called St. John's. Nice restaurant. I want to take you to St. John's. It would be appropriate, ladies, for you to say that's a little bit too much, too fast, too soon. How about this place? And you mentioned a little bit more of an approachable spot, something that isn't going to make
Del Taco.
Mexican food. We have some nice Mexican joints, but my point really is make it so it's like budget friendly to you. Because if you're going to take somebody up on an offer to go to a place that you yourself can't afford, you're putting yourself into a really dangerous situation, because guys are very transactional. We're very about numbers. And if we're investing a number, we're like, I better be getting something more out of that.
Ding,
There's
ding.
an extent to that being true. Like, I'm not saying that there's not gentlemen that'll be like, okay, I don't expect this right now, but I am keeping a tab.
I'm sorry, but like that is garbage. Like
That's how
this
men
whole
are.
transactional relationship bullshit crap that my niece and nephew sometimes like to watch,
Kids? Yes.
which they shouldn't. Go to bed, but it's just not like that is the thing that makes me so deeply and profoundly uncomfortable. That is why I'm like,
So
"Oh,
that's why a dinner date is not appropriate for the first date.
I just, yeah, like
Coffee.
I've
Get
done
coffee.
coffee. So
It's
I had
easy.
somebody tell me that the whole reason I was getting friend zone is because um I go to coffee and talk with the person.
What are you saying? What are you saying?
I was like, well, just like we're sharing life or philosophy or having like conversations like this. Like it's like, well, yeah, no, of course you're friend zoning. I'm like, but I thought like your whole you're just trying to feel like, is there a connection? Can we jive? Can we
Mm-hmm.
converse? Can we enjoy each other's company
Sure.
just sitting together in a coffee shop? And like I've had coffee shop dates last like 3 hours.
Same.
And it's
I
like
love a coffee
been
date, and often those places like have like little desserts. Like you can sexy it up. Like if it's going well, keep going. It's
I've
easy. Yeah. Yeah. Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I mean, there's so many more appropriate first dates than going out to dinner.
yeah,
And guys, like,
I don't
it's lacking creativity. Like
yeah.
it bugs the shit out of me. I'll say it. It bugs the shit out of me.
Plug your ears.
The first date's just being dinner. I'm like, you lack all creativity. All
Yeah.
of it. All of it. And you're
Oh,
going to the same place? Like the bartender recognizes you every single
oh,
time? Come
that
on,
is
man.
real, by the way. That is real. Okay, here's the other one. Here's the other one that I have to say because I cannot even tell you between me and between everybody that I've talked to. I'm sorry, why are all the women planning every single flippin' date? Why are the men not?
Feminism.
That's been
Actually, it's funny you say that, because before we jumped
safety.
onto this episode was, well, one of our audience members said that guys are not asking her on a date. They'll say, "Hey, let me take you on a date," but never really plan it, like never make it happen. I think that there's an idea that a date would be fun, but the actual effort it would take to create it, and then, oh, ladies are going to hate me for this, but we're missing a lot of audience members, because half of them, and it's all of them, are women, canceled. Every single one. And the amount of men who will tell you how many times they get canceled on will blow your mind. So it's like, is it even worth it? Should I even plan this? Should I even ask, or should I approach? Should I do all the effort? Should I get it? Only for them to 20 minutes later say, hey, I'm not really feeling it, or something came up, or this or that. Because every guy in the audience has had that happen more than once.
I've never canceled a date.
Good. Good. But it happens a lot. In fact,
So why
hold on. Just by a show of hands, guys, has this happened to you more than twice? Canceled. You had plans. You planned something. Sure, rescheduled. Yeah, just a reschedule. Yeah, just reschedule. Something came up. Something. Yep. Mm-hmm.
When you make you say one thing and they're going like, how about this? And then you just give up on you pick.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
no, I do
we'll get
that.
to that. So we had an audience member, because you can't hear his audio. He said, or he will start to make a suggestion, and then she will come back with something else, and or shoot it down, and like it becomes like okay, you just pick. And then by when he says something like that, she's like, that's low effort.
Well, she's participating. She's participating in the effort. She is giving ideas and boosting creativity. She's helpful. She's so helpful.
Okay. So just saying no to the place that was suggested.
No, being like, well, I mean, okay, if you're like, oh, we should go to dinner, and he goes and he names like a rib place, and you don't eat ribs because you don't eat meat, and you're like,
Okay.
I'm so grateful that you came up with a place. I don't eat meat, but here's a few options of places I've been to that I know are super delicious. Have you been to any of them? I'm participating and I'm helping.
Well, I like that. I
Yeah.
like that, but there's multiple occasions, and perhaps he's even referring to it like just the idea, the options just being shut down, or not even offering a suggestion back. Like that's frustrating. Or is that a sign? Hey, I'm really not interested.
No, I'm just not interested in ribs.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough.
And like, I'm sorry, but too, like, why not ask you know, like I have had some guys say, like, what's your, you know, like what kind of food do you like? Or are there restaurants you like? Or is there a certain thing you like to do?
Do you
I
like
love
those
that.
questions?
I love
Or
that.
would you like a guy to just say, hey, I want to take you to this place at this time on this day?
Okay, if we've been dating for a little bit,
No, this is first date.
first date, no.
No.
First date, I like to participate because I like it to be a joint. Like I want to be able to say, here's my thoughts, and I want him to be able to like run with it.
Mm.
Or like I give 5 options and he makes the final decision. Like I appreciate to like if he's like, oh dude, I don't even know. I don't know this place very well. Like,
Okay.
oh, okay, well, I know a few places, you
Okay.
know, you make your final call.
Okay.
I like him to have the final decision so
Interesting.
that like it's a I like
He gets the final decision.
yeah.
Okay. Ladies, show of hands. Do you give him options to select from? many people who will go on the first date, and if he offers to split, like, hey, do you want to split the bill? And if she says okay, she will not go on another date because she thinks that he just rejected her. And it's so interesting, Megan, how you just said that has been the case for you. That if he takes you up on your offer, that he is no longer interested, because as a chivalrous man, he would absolutely ensure that his umbrella of protection and provision is being planted right here. It starts right here. And it's so interesting because the feminism that we're talking about, how we do want equality, it exists everywhere except at this moment. At this moment, if he offers to split the bill, it completely changes. Feminism has no place in that decision. And from there, feminism disappears even more, because women want to be protected. They want to be provided for to some extent. And we can actually get into, like, why is that? It's because of hypergamy. What is hypergamy? We can get on. Oh,
This should be, I feel like this needs to be like a 3-part series. Like this is one, because we didn't make it through points 2.
oh, there's so
Like
much that we
3
can
and
dive
4.
into.
Like I feel like we need to make this like
Yeah.
a series where we also tackle this next week, because there's multiple things. Like this whole sheet of paper that I brought
Yeah.
didn't
Well, we
even
only have an hour to have a conversation
So,
about
like,
modern dating issues.
2 more episodes of this, please, because this is the big guy.
We're going to be doing an episode every single week. We have so much stuff that we're able to talk about and help people feel like their stories are real. Like, some of the stuff that I'm talking about is from people, like, it's from you. Like, I'm pulling this from your experience that you've shared with me. Like, the people in the audience, I've pulled from some of their experiences because I know them very well. So, like, everything I'm saying, like, this is very relevant. It's very relevant to you. I know how difficult modern dating is. It's why I do what I do, because I had to go through it. I had to push myself into it, having never experienced dating before. I know how hard it is. I know how lonely it is. I know how frustrating modern dating is. Everybody wants something. Everybody wants something different. Everybody's got different expectations. Everyone has different ideas of what that thing looks like, and we're all just trying to figure it all out. And what complicates this even more is a lot of us don't even know who we are. We don't even know what it is that we are actually looking for. But we often hear this phrase, which is, I'll know it when I see it. It's actually not true. More times than not, you will see it. You'll say, that's what I want. And it is your trauma speaking. It's saying, I identify with that. That looks familiar. I'm sure it does. It takes you back to when you're 8 years old. It takes you back to when you're 18 years old. And if you don't know what that stuff looks like, you're going to repeat toxic, negative patterns. You're going to be dating for much longer than what you really should. So if you're willing to take that time to do some self-reflection, to understand, why have I been repeating these patterns for so long, you will finally take that first step into enjoying your dating life, which is what I want everybody to be able to do. Dating should be fun. It shouldn't be this catastrophe. It shouldn't. That should not be the reaction. You should be able to go and have a good time. You should know yourself. You should enjoy the experiences, getting to know people, seeing what fits, what doesn't, what works, what doesn't. You should be enjoying this. It shouldn't be this calamity. It shouldn't be that. But I empathize with that, because that is so many people's experience. And if that's an experience that you're having, if that's a reaction that you're having, I want to invite you to my Singles Mixer event and seminar on February 8th and 9th. I am putting this on because I know how difficult dating is. I know how frustrating it is for men and women. We all have our own struggles. We all have things that we're trying to accomplish, and we're all trying to figure it out together. So my singles event is called Stupid Cupid. And why did I pick Stupid Cupid? Because
Cupid is stupid.
He is. He is. Look at his track record. He's messing stuff up for thousands of years. No, really, the reason I said Stupid Cupid is because it is an analogy to how a lot of people just let their dating life just go. Like, they're not really taking control of it. They're not taking it by, they're not being accountable to it. They're just letting it unfold. Whatever happens, happens. Oh, I'll just stop looking and then it'll happen. Like that type of stuff has to stop. If you really want something significant and special, you have to be intentional with the way that you approach dating. And when you're not very intentional, you get these negative toxic cycles. If you want to break those, I want to invite you to Stupid Cupid. You can sign up at trulysingles.com. There's a couple different packages. I'm doing seminars. We're actually going to be doing this podcast live. So I'll be doing seminars for men and women, group talks. We'll be doing some speed dating. That Saturday night, I'm going to have a huge, amazing, fun singles mixer that I definitely want you to be participating in that. So if you are struggling with your dating, if you're frustrated with the way that the dating landscape looks, I want to invite you there because I want you to overcome some of these things. Now, before we go, I want to see if any of our audience have any questions to what we've been talking about. I know that we covered a bunch of stuff. So just raise your hand if you have a question. Let's go here first.
It's not really a question, but
Okay, let's go here. I'm just kidding. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I'm women because I am a feminine energy woman, and I see a lot of masculine energy women, and I would never give a man a suggestion on a first date. That's actually masculine energy. Masculine energy is doing, its effort, and it's going to repel a masculine man. So that's probably why a lot of people aren't getting them to make the effort for the date. Like,
Like you're taking the power away
Well,
from
what
the
if you
man.
hate their suggestion? You just like shut up and go with it? Because I don't like
I
that.
tend to like the 30-minute to an hour coffee date for the first one, honestly. And but feminine energy is receiving, it's openness, it's allowing the man to do and put effort in.
What if he sucks at doing? Sorry.
No, I actually no. That is such a good response.
I know it's true.
If he sucks at doing, why are you even talking to him?
Exactly. He's gonna
Don't even
fall
get
off. He's
be-
gonna
well
fall away.
because what I see. This is what I see is when something like that happens, a woman doesn't like the way he's approaching, the way he's being a man. She steps into his space.
Yeah.
She starts making the plan. She starts making sure he can't fail. It's like, let him fail. Let him disqualify himself. You don't need to go into his space to make sure that doesn't happen.
Because now you're pursuing. And if you start pursuing, that's not a masculine energy man. That's not the man you want to end up with.
But don't you limit yourself even more? Like I already feel like my box of like qualifications is like, so like, don't you limit yourself even more? I'm very curious about
No,
this because
not
I've
at
been
all.
looking into
And
this a
I'm getting
lot.
higher quality men. Much higher quality men.
When you are more in your natural feminine, you will attract more natural masculine men who understand what they need to do to approach you correctly.
And when you go on the date too, you're more listening, like you're very open. You're not trying to put on a presentation. You want to approach it like, instead of, I hope they like me, no, do I like them?
Yeah, yeah.
You
I've
know?
gotten that one. It's just the first part where I let them make a poor decision.
See, if
Let
they make
them.
a bad decision,
Let
if they
them.
make a bad decision, that's probably not who you want to.
But they
with.
yeah. I
You
just,
know?
yeah.
I love that.
I
Well,
love that you said something because
Yeah.
I've been looking into that. I love that you said something.
He's got a question.
You got a question?
No, we have another. I thought you guys had a question. Yes. Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
So you took the time earlier in the episode to characterize chivalry as sort of this romantic Arthurian concept. Could you break down what feminism is?
Feminism. So feminism is the social application of ensuring that women's voice is equal to a man. But the problem that I see with that is that the responsibilities have to be equal as well. And the reason that women didn't have the same rights is because, for example, like women didn't have the right to vote until, was it the 1921? Is that when it was? 1931? When could women vote? They couldn't be drafted before that. They couldn't be drafted. And that's why women didn't have the right to vote. It was a means to protect women. If you wanted to vote, you needed to be able to get drafted. So that was an attempt at preserving women. So when women wanted to have a say in who was probably going to ship out your men, like you got to have the accountability side. And women weren't, like, I'm pretty sure you've never been drafted. You've never had the, like, that's never been in our legislation whatsoever. If we went to war today, you still wouldn't be drafted. but you can still vote on who is going to send us to war.
But you don't hear any feminists being like, we should have
very
the
quiet.
right to be
It's
drafted.
very quiet. Very quiet. But I'm sorry, but to answer your question, what is feminism? It is the social acceptance that women should have an equal vote and say in how society operates. Who's next?
What's up? I'm Leon.
Hi, Leon.
I just wanted to ask this question.
Okay. Is it for me or for Megan?
For everybody. I really want to know.
Okay.
Everybody wants to date, whether you're a man, whether you're a woman. Everybody wants to date.
Mhm.
Why is it so complicated? I don't care who paid. I don't care who paid. Let's just go have some fun. Why does it gotta be like this? You know?
I got you.
It's like you gotta jump over the hoop. You gotta go around the corner. You gotta pass the test. You gotta skip hop on one foot. No, no. I just want to take you over here. I don't care where we go. Let's just have some fun, and I'll take you back home. Why can't we just do that? You know, let's just have some fun, and everything be everything.
Talk to me after the show.
All right,
We'll set it. We'll set
cool,
up a
cool.
coaching.
Let's do that.
No, but real quick, the reason that it is so difficult is what I just said. Everybody wants something different. Everybody has different traumas and triggers and things that they're operating out of that make them require someone to approach them a very specific way. And if they don't come this way, that's not the guy for me. It's why so many women will date an asshole inconsistently. Why do I keep attracting? No, you're accepting. You're not attracting, you're accepting that person over and over and over because they represent something that you're familiar with in your past. So that's a small piece. Now, why is it so difficult for guys? Because they are stuck between, should I be chivalrous? When should I be chivalrous? And is this going to cost me? Like which one, where in this space? Because if I just come out the gate with chivalry on chivalry on chivalry, he is too easy. And then he looks too invested. And now she's like, I don't know if I like him because he's liking me too much. Like it's all sorts of stuff. Yeah, it's a balance. It's tricky. It's not like it was when chivalry started out. It was very intentional. But now we got tons and tons of options. I don't like the way you comb your hair. Swiping left.
Well,
She said,
to be
well.
fair.
To be fair, that's a disqualifiable.
To be fair.
That's disqualifiable. Okay. Tag, you have a question?
Yeah, this question is for Megan.
Oh.
You at the beginning talked about the situation where if you're on a date with a guy in the beginning and he offers to pay, or you offer to split it or pay, whatever,
Got me. No
I got it.
worries.
which I think is great. But if he says no, it's not okay, right? It's not okay at all.
If he says, yeah, sure, you, I'll get me. That's where I'm kind of like, ugh.
Yep.
That's where I feel bummed out. Not when he is like, no.
When he takes her up on her offer, she gets bummed out.
Yeah.
Meaning that it wasn't a genuine, sincere offer.
Yeah, no, I get it. I mean, it makes perfect. It's insane, but it makes perfect sense. So,
Wait, me insane or he insane?
no,
Who's insane?
nobody's. I'm just kidding. It was a joke. My question is, like, what other little tricks do you have that are little traps that you have for guys that you set them up for?
Hold the phone. Okay, I got a real issue with your vernacular.
I love it.
It's not a trap because
Oh, that is absolutely a
Hold
trap.
on. It's not a trap because it comes from a place of trying to like take the load off. It's not, let me see if he does it. It's, I'm going to take the load off. And, like if he's not interested, like he's probably not going to pursue trying to. And so it's like, it's not coming from a place of gotcha. It's coming from a genuine place of like, oh crap, I'm so uncomfortable. Like, hey, I got me. And then when he's like, cool, thanks. It's disappointing. It's not a trap. It's a genuine, like.
It's a test.
I don't even think it's a test. It's just the way I was brought up.
But we can fail it. It is confusing.
Yeah.
It's just the way that I was brought up, and it's been a multitude of uncomfortable situations that I've gotten myself into. It's a bit of a protection for myself, and it's a failed attempt. But I don't know. I have worked towards not offering. The last several dates that I've gone on, I have not offered, and I am writhing in like discomfort and agony inside. And I'm like, by the way, I just want you to know I wanted to offer to like get me, but I didn't do it, and I'm really proud of myself. But like also, did you want me to offer? It's like so freaking uncomfortable.
So this is always my solution to this. My solution to the dining situation is always bring some cash with you so you can leave the tip. That is your way of contributing right off the rip.
That's good. Okay, I
Just
like
bring
that.
bring a couple tens,
His cash.
throw it down. You need to have cash.
Go to the bank.
Go to the bank. If you're on your way to the date, stop at the ATM, grab a little bit of money so you can leave a tip, because that
makes sense.
unspoken expectation that he is now going to have, like sometimes going to have, like, oh, now I'm owed something. It's like, no, I contributed too.
I like that. No, I like that. I like the tip. It makes me still feel like I'm like I'm doing something, but I'm not getting cut off and rejected.
And guess what? Now he feels masculine because he got to take care of the whole tab. And you're like, well, at least let me pay for the tip. I would be 100% on board with any woman that said that on a
men date. Consensus 100% on board with
offer to pay for the tip. Offer to cover the tip. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. That's good. I feel
the gesture feels right. It feels good. It also feels really authentic.
Yeah.
And that there's not going to be a repercussion at the end.
Right.
If you make her pay the tip.
So the whole like it not working, like the trap or test or whatever that you want to say, that it's not worked because I've been friend zoned. It's not that like I've been like, oh, he didn't. I've actually gone out twice with somebody who let me pay for myself on the first date, and I've begrudgingly, but like I was like, okay, well, I'm not getting friend zoned, so that was interesting. And I've gone out to see like how is this going to play out. It's just a matter of like I've been friend zoned.
Well, I'll say this
because masculine energy.
It's that, but also like it's a test where both of you are failing, because he's also going to feel like you're rejecting him by taking him up on it.
By taking it by saying, hey, I'm
by saying it,
okay,
and then by doing it. Yes.
Well, if he's like, oh, cool, like there's really no.
But if you insist, no, I really want to, like please let me.
If he says.
Like yes.
But
like, please don't set up another date.
Insist, because my mom always said, wait until somebody insists. People don't insist anymore. That's not like a thing people do.
The next time, if you like her. Also,
we should, you know what, Megan? Maybe we should talk about my matchmaking service.
like you always like kind of wanting to pay for yourself is kind of making you feel small about yourself. Like
you're not wrong.
I feel like it projects that.
You're not wrong.
We can analyze this deeper, but Jennifer's got a question back here.
So there have been a few dates that I've been on, which, you get to know people ahead of time, or at least I like to a little bit.
A little bit of texting, a phone call, something.
Yeah. So you can kind of establish some common ground, or joking, laughing about certain things. And then you decide together, hey, that would be fun. Why don't we could do that together? And then my other part of that is dating within your means. How do you, Brock, feel about if I had $50 to spend, and then I go out on a date, and we've talked about where it would be. We've negotiated that together, and that's a good sign. You can establish some decisions together early on. That's good, right? I've been on a date before where I had my amount of money, and I was going to order within my means, including tip and everything, and tax and all. So I knew what I had going into it. Well, the person pulled one of those. Oh, I can't find my wallet. I was like, here. I said, I'll help you look for it. So yeah, so I helped him look for it, and I found it. It was hidden well up under the bed in a certain room, and I was like, "Oh, there it is," Yeah. So, anyway, so we found the wallet. Well, I said, "You pick where you want to go," because I can always find something like you said, with a salad or something, within my means. So, we go, and it was a general like Longhorn, or something like that. Okay, so I had my
Did you get the
budget.
ribs?
And no, I ordered within my means, which was like a prime rib sandwich or something. And I totally would have gotten the ribs. But what I did was I ordered within my means, and I might have had a water or something, and made sure that I had enough tip. But at the same time, that person, knowing that they acted like they were going to forget their wallet intentionally early on, and that kind of thing, and they chose the restaurant because I was like, yeah, I'll find something. We go, and then they order a steak, and they ordered like $28 worth of food.
Sure.
Okay. And then he goes, I had this instinct. I was like, he's gonna say, do you want to go in halfsies? I just felt it. And so the bill
the wallet was a clue.
Yeah. The bill comes, or the bill comes, and he goes, so you want to go in hefties? And I was like, yeah, sure, that's fine. I said, I'll just pay for it. It's okay. I'll just pay for it. Well, so he slides me a 20. His food alone was 28. So, like, my advice is order within your means so you feel comfortable. You don't feel like you owe anybody anything. You're able to get out if you need to.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that?
Oh,
am I
he's
missing out?
no, he's a complete degenerate. You
He
should
was.
never speak to that person ever again.
I didn't. Thank you. Exactly.
Yeah.
But at the same
Complete degenerate.
in the same note though,
Mhm.
do you feel like if we're dating within our own means like that, am I potentially missing out on somebody who wants to offer a different level of experience for me?
If somebody wants to take you to a high level experience, something that's perhaps out of your means, there needs to be a conversation that takes place. You need to be brave enough to find the words to say, that sounds like a really nice place. I appreciate the offer. It's a little bit out of my budget right now. Is there a different option? And if he says, no, I want to take you here. Now that's a completely different situation. But I find so many people don't want to have that small conversation.
That's so good though too, because it sets you up so that you don't have to feel uncomfortable when the bill comes to you.
Mhm.
I like that. You've offered some really good food for thought on.
Thanks. So have you. Yeah.
Thanks.
I feel like the people that don't actually have that discussion are the people that aren't mature enough to go on dates.
Mhm.
I like
Oh,
that.
listen, there are a lot of people who are not.
Slow clap.
There's a lot of people who should not be dating. A lot of people who aren't mature enough,
Oh,
who haven't healed enough, who haven't got their life in order, who are looking to date as a form of escapism.
Ooh, I know one of those.
We all know some of those,
I'm not
and
gonna say
maybe we've even been some of those at a time or not.
Nope.
We're lonely. We don't have a social network. We're not happy in our work. We're not happy. We don't have any hobbies, and we're like, you know what? I'll make dating my hobby. So many people do that.
Men do that. Can I just say?
Oh, men
Men
absolutely.
do that a lot because the specific person I'm thinking of is a dude. He has no right to be dating right now.
Sure.
Lovely human, wonderful person, has zero capacity to be in a relationship.
Oh, I completely believe that. But
He's like,
I mean,
why should I
men
be
and women
alone?
both struggle with this, like trying to make dating or finding somebody fill all the voids in their life. I see it from men and women. Yes, I do see it from men, especially after like a divorce, big time. We talked about that last week.
Mhm.
Men really
No.
struggle after a divorce because they realize, dang, I neglected all my friendships. But why? She got all the friends out of the divorce, or she got, she had all her hobbies, or she started working out three months before the divorce. Yeah, no shit. So like she's ahead of the curve. So anyway, my point is that we sometimes approach dating as a means to just fill voids. And we just need to be aware of that. We just need to. Dating, again, when you do it because you need it, it's not fun. When you don't really need it, when you're just doing it for fun, when I say just for fun, I mean like still with intent, but like I don't need this. I don't need this, but like I want to do this.
Like if I deeply want a relationship, I deeply want to be a wife. Like I've wanted that for ages.
Mhm.
That's something that's a deep desire.
Mhm.
I feel like I've gone in intentionally since I was very young because I grew up in a Christian household. That's
Oh
what
yeah.
you do is
Oh yeah.
you don't date somebody that you would never marry.
Sure.
Which is a lot of
Yeah.
pressure when you're 16. You have absolutely no idea what you actually want.
Gotta love it.
But that's a conversation for another time.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, it's. I mean, like I've always wanted that, but I don't think, and it probably folds into need because I don't want to be alone for the rest of my life.
Sure.
Could I be?
Mhm.
Oh God, please no.
Mhm.
Oh, please no. But I mean, that sounds like a need then, right?
Well, no, more what I mean is a need right now to avoid being alone with yourself. A lot of people don't want to even be 15
It's the
minutes by
void.
themselves.
It's
Yes,
the
it's
void
just
thing. It's
void
I can't
void
be with
filling.
me.
Yes,
If
yeah.
I can't be with you, then nobody else can either.
Yep. Yeah.
Do you think the a la carte masculinity is, like that's the big issue? A woman will want this, but not want what comes along with it.
Sure.
They want masculinity a la carte.
That is such a good question, Ed. Do I think women want a la carte masculinity? I would say today, absolutely. But here's the problem is that a lot of women are stepping over a line in that they are the ones trying to define what masculinity is, and they just don't have the empathy for it.
That's true.
For example, when I had a radio submission, this girl wrote in and she said, "Hey Brock, I need some advice. I've been dating this guy for about 5 months. I went out with some girlfriends. We don't live together, me and this guy. I went out with some girlfriends, got intoxicated that night. I text him from my Uber. I'm on my way home, or I'm about to get in my Uber, and then didn't talk to him the rest of the night, but he was trying to get in touch with me, but my phone died. So he was blowing me up all night. And he even came to my place trying to find me because I never text him, I'm home, I'm safe. And now he wants my location." And she's like, "I think that's just really controlling." And I said, "Who are you to tell him how to protect you? You do not get to tell somebody whose responsibility is to protect how to do it. You just don't. It's not an area, it's not an arena that you will ever step in. I would never call Diana if someone kicked in my front door. It's not happening. It's just not. She would lean to me to do that. And if someone did that and she was by me, she's going to listen to what I tell her because that's my job. And I will die for that. And she is not ever going to step into that spot. I don't ever want her to be in that spot. Somebody from the outside looking in can say, "That's really controlling. You're yelling at her." Damn right I am. I'm telling her to get under the bed. I'm going to yell at her. I'm going to tell her exactly what she needs to do. And in that situation with the guy asking for the location, it's because she just showed herself to be somebody who is going to go missing. And so many bad things happen. He was texting and driving and trying to find her because scary shit happens. And she's like, "I think he's being too controlling." I was like, "Can you even for a second imagine what he went through mentally?" He thought he failed. You can't even go there. You can't even go there.
No.
So like the cherry picked, not cherry picked, should I say, the selective masculinity. It's like, I want this, but not this. No, you get it all or you get none of it. Which one do you want? You want it all or none? Because we don't have these dials. Men are on or off. Masculinity is on or off. That's how it works. I'm either going to commit to protecting you, putting my life on the line, or I'm not. It's also another reason why men after divorce struggle so much, because the person who they said, "I will die for," is no longer there and they're looking for some purpose. It's hard. It's very, very hard. Do we have a closing mark over here? I see you.
I'm
Taking notes.
taking notes for more episodes.
Oh.
I'm like,
Can I just say one more thing?
Yes, of course. Yes, thank you.
Back to what you said, I actually really love your approach, as in first date, where you take charge and you pick the place. And just coming from me, I will find something to eat or drink or whatever. But I really like that. Like, I think that's a great approach. Also, cutting it short is great. In my opinion, it's not always like that, but
Sure.
on the paying for the date, I don't offer. I usually pause, like I wait
Sure.
and see what he says.
You create this space, you open up
Yes.
to
I
receive the
don't,
masculine.
and I think men should be more pre-selective who they ask for a date, and if they pick the restaurant.
You think men should be more pre-selective on who they ask out?
Well, if you go on a date every week, you're gonna pay crazy amount of money, right?
True.
Or if twice a week.
True.
So I don't think if you, how do I say this? If you don't go twice a week on different women, obviously you're not gonna pay as much.
Sure.
And if you pick the restaurant, you control.
Sure.
You have control the price of the menu, right?
Or whatever the experience is. Yes, 100%.
And yes, you, as a woman, you should always have the money to cover your part. And to her situation, I would have probably approached the waiter, told him I pay for my meal and I'm out of here.
Bye.
Okay. No splitting, no go halvesies.
like,
no
I got
that.
me. You got you.
You figure it out. You don't go on a date if you can't afford it.
Please tell me you didn't go on another date with that
I
guy.
didn't go on another date.
Good.
I was calm. I paid for it, and I said, you know, that is not going to happen.
And I
Good.
also like coffee dates, but I don't ever guess. I only been asked once.
I'll
On a
take
coffee date. Hey, look at that. Look at that. Okay.
I mean, a lot of
Rembrandt
people
is a
work-
nice little
lot of
date
people
spot.
work on weekdays, so it would be Saturday, Sunday. I'm also not a morning person, so it would be more like a brunch.
Coffee is great anytime. Like
Yeah.
right now, who wants to go get coffee? Like that is
I
easy.
have hot tea
Sure.
after like lunch, whatever.
Sure. Yeah, you can. Coffee is good for
Don't ask
any
me to
time.
walk, especially right now.
Sure.
And never ever ask a woman on a hike. Please don't. Not
On a first date? Okay, you're like, no.
I would say after the third date.
Okay. No hikes on the first dates. No expensive dinners on the first dates. Make it approachable, make it safe, make it comfortable.
Oh,
Definitely make it safe.
It's not bad, but it's too like
okay.
it's too weird. It's a little weird for a first date. Bowling. Bowling's fun, but I like an activity for a second date. The first one, I want to sit down. I'm gonna ask you two really important first date questions. I'm gonna get all the info I need as to whether or not I want to go on a second date. I have two questions.
What are the questions?
No, I keep those on the lock and key, buddy. For next time.
And please make the woman comfortable on the first date. Don't be like weird.
Yes.
Don't talk about your ex.
Weird a little bit.
Oh, Jimmy's like, I like a little weird. I like a little bit of weird.
You heard it first on Dating
Just a little
Today.
bit. Just a little bit.
Like a little weird.
I think we're done with the questions, comments. We're good. Okay. All right. Well, I think we're gonna wrap up the episode for the day, right? Yeah. How'd you feel about it?
I feel like there's a lot more.
A lot more we could talk about.
Some more, yeah.
Dating is a non-stop evolving situation and dynamic. So like we can talk about it for years and years and years, and it continues to change. I mean, hell, we lost TikTok for 12 hours. Like people were losing it. And now it's back. So, hey, you never know what's going to happen next week. So, all right. So I just wanted to tell everyone, thank you so much for joining us on, right here. I want to thank everybody for joining us on Dating Today, a conversation about modern dating issues. Want to also thank real quick Megan, my host, for being so much fun and always providing so much insight. And again, she represents the community. She speaks extremely well. She's a high-level thinker, but she is bringing her personal experience, but she's also fielding questions from you all. So if you have something that you're wanting to express, hit her up. Send her an email, send her a message in her Instagram, whatever. If you want her to like represent you in some way, like, hey, this is something I was dealing with, like message her. She probably knows exactly what you're going through, what you have gone through. And then I want to also thank Build Something Media again for making this entire episode possible. You guys are freaking awesome.
Yay!
And I also want to thank Flame and Flavor for being today's video sponsor. Their food is so good. They catered today. They had pastas and salmon and ribeye, all sorts of amazing stuff. If you need anything catered for a party or an event or business or anything like that, please hit them up. That is Flame and Flavor. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. We'll talk to you next Tuesday. Bye.